Captain Zixathera's four eyes widened in horror as she watched the human ship approach the derelict vessel. Her mandibles clicked nervously against her translation device as she broadcast on all frequencies. Human vessel Tuesday's child, this is Captain Zixathera of the Galactic Salvage Authority. You are approaching a Class 5 hazardous wreck. Radiation levels are lethal. Atmospheric toxicity is beyond measurement. The hull integrity is compromised in 17 critical sections. Do not attempt boarding. The response came back in that peculiar, almost musical language the humans insisted on using, followed by the translator's mechanical interpretation. Thanks for the heads up. Zix, we'll take it from here. Zixathera's second in command, a crystalline Vorthak named Kresh, resonated with what could only be described as panic. Captain, they cannot be serious. That wreck has been drifting for 3 cycles. It's the Nightmare's Edge, a Zarathi war vessel that went dark during the Crimson Nebula incident. The radiation alone would kill any known species within minutes. Through her ship's viewports, Zixathera watched as the human vessel, barely larger than a system patrol craft, extended what appeared to be a flexible docking tube toward the massive, twisted hull of the Nightmare's Edge. The derelict ship was a monument to destruction, its hull scarred by plasma burns and pocked with micrometeor impacts. Several sections glowed with an ominous blue-green radiation that made even looking at it through filtered screens uncomfortable. Human vessel, please reconsider, Zixathera transmitted again. The Zarathi installed biological warfare systems throughout their ships. The atmosphere is not just toxic, it's actively malevolent. It seeks to consume living tissue. Copy that, came the cheerful response. Tommy's bringing his good mask. Good mask? Zixathera's translation software must be malfunctioning. She watched in mounting disbelief as 3 human figures in what appeared to be standard environmental suits began crossing through the docking tube. They moved with casual efficiency, one of them actually pausing to wave at her ship as they passed a transparent section. Kresh, patch me through to the Galactic Council emergency channel, Zixathera ordered. We're about to witness the first recorded case of an entire species committing suicide for salvage rights. But something strange was happening. The humans had been inside the derelict for over 10 minutes now, well past the point where any known species should have succumbed to radiation poisoning, atmospheric toxicity, or the dreaded Zarathi bioweapons. Her communications array crackled to life with the voice of one of the humans. Hey Zix, we're finding some interesting stuff in here. Looks like the crew abandoned ship pretty quick. Left all sorts of valuable tech behind. Want us to save anything specific for the authority? How? Zixathera began, then stopped. How are you still alive? There was a pause, followed by what sounded like laughter. Well, Dave brought his radiation detector and it's clicking pretty good, but nothing we haven't seen before. This atmosphere's pretty nasty, but Tommy's got a good seal on his mask, and Sarah brought those air scrubbers we use for mining ops in the sulfur systems. Sulfur systems? Zixathera's research assistant quickly brought up the human homeworld data. The information that appeared made her secondary stomachs drop. Earth, their homeworld, was classified as a death world by galactic standards. Atmospheric composition, nitrogen and oxygen in ratios that would be toxic to most species. Gravity, 1.2 times galactic standard. Radiation. Their star bombarded the planet with radiation levels that required active magnetic field protection. Weather patterns, violent storm systems with winds that could strip hull plating. Geological activity. The planet's crust was actively unstable, with molten rock regularly breaking through the surface. And they had evolved there, thrived there. Kresh, she whispered, pull up the human ship's registration data. The files that appeared painted an even more disturbing picture. Tuesday's Child was registered as a heavy industrial salvage vessel, operated by something called Murphy's Salvage and Pizza Delivery. The crew consisted of 3 humans. Dave Murphy, Captain Pizza Delivery Specialist, Sarah Chen, Engineer Hazmat Coordinator, and Tommy Kowalski, Salvage Specialist good with explosives. Their previous salvage operations included a neutron star research station, a derelict ship that had been drifting through a solar corona for 6 months, and something called a Florida swamp gas refinery explosion site. Captain, came Dave's voice over the comm, we're about done in here. Found some great Zarathi plasma rifles. Their navigation computer is still intact, and Sarah thinks she can get their matter compiler working again. Also, Tommy found their food storage. Apparently Zarathi rations are just spicy enough for human consumption. We'll drop off the dangerous stuff with you and keep the rest, standard salvage agreement. Dangerous stuff? Zixthera asked weakly. Yeah, some of their bioweapon canisters are leaking. That could contaminate a planet pretty quick if it got out. We'll dispose of them safely. Got a nice little sun picked out. About 3 systems over for dumping hazardous waste. They were going to fly hazardous bioweapons into a star as casually as she might dispose of food waste. An hour later, Zixthera watched the human ship undock from the Nightmare's Edge. The derelict, which had been declared unsalvageable by every major salvage corporation in the galaxy, was now structurally sound, radiation-free, and apparently equipped with new air fresheners that made it smell like pine trees, whatever those were. As the Tuesday's Child prepared to jump to hyperspace, Dave's voice came through one final time. Thanks for keeping an eye on us out there, Zix. If you ever need anything salvaged, just give us a call. We do birthday parties too. Zixthera stared at the space where the human ship had disappeared, then slowly turned to Kresh. File a report with the Galactic Council, she said quietly. Recommend that all Class 5 hazardous wrecks be immediately transferred to human salvage crews. And, she paused, schedule a meeting with the Defense Committee. If these humans ever decide that salvage work is boring, we need to make absolutely certain they remain our allies. In the distance, the Nightmare's Edge drifted peacefully, its hull gleaming clean and its running lights blinking in standard galactic shipping patterns. Attached to its side was a small sign that read, Salvaged by Murphy's Salvage and Pizza Delivery. We deliver. Somewhere in the galaxy, Dave Murphy was probably planning what to do with his Wednesday.